All right, well, I think we ought to get rolling so we can respect everybody's time that is on the line here. People will jump in as we go here. First of all, I just want to say thank you for joining us this afternoon. This is Implementation Rediscovered with yours truly. Most of the people that are on this call are already going to know who I am, a little bit about my background, probably more than I want them to know about my background because they've read my book, right? It takes a pretty deep dive into Claudia and I's background. And, because what we've discovered is as time goes by and we get removed more and more as the days, weeks, and months go by, we don't resemble those people anymore, do we? And I think it's really important to share that story and remind people that, you know what, anything is impossible. With our lives, it's been with God and putting Him first in our lives. So really, really excited to share these stories of victory with you guys. This is not letting me advance. There it is. Great. So a lot of you know my history, my background, again, from the book. These are some of my, every time I look at these photos, I got to tell you, I just don't know that guy anymore. That's very exciting to be able to share that I don't know that guy. I don't remember what that guy was like inside his head anyways. I know for all these photos, I'm having quite a few bad days. I do know that. I remember having some bad days way back when, and the look on my face kind of says it all as they poked and jabbed and kicked me to get up and take a photo. I wasn't smiling for any of these because by this time I didn't have a whole lot of chiclets left in my mouth to smile with, and I was kind of ashamed of my smile back then. And yeah, these were some pretty bad days, but I got a little bit of background on myself. When I got out of rehab and started trying to get my world back in order through a series of events that only God Himself could have orchestrated, I ran into an auto repair shop owner. His name was Richard Broadwater. Richard Broadwater was able to, even though I had no more crack or crystal meth left in my life, I still looked like a crack or crystal meth head because I needed to gain some weight. I looked like a walking skeleton, quite frankly. And Richard was able to see past all that and saw that I had some talent. My book goes into the detail of how we met, but he was able to see past all that, and he gave me an opportunity. And you know what? Because of his belief in me and encouragement in me, as well as the example that he set on how to run an ethical, honest, profitable auto repair shop, I am the businessman that I am today because of the foundation that he set for me. But this is the guy that Richard hired back in 2000. I think when this was taken, I was about 8 months sober. Richard had a 4-bay shop. He worked as a technician, shop foreman type position, and allowed me to be a service advisor, which I eventually became a service manager. And because of his encouraging me, I took encouragement in me. I took his shop to #1 in this franchise called Tunex that had about 25 stores in it around the country. And when I left there, again, I go into detail in this on my book. Richard's a class act. He presented me with this plaque thanking me for the 4 years of service and taking his store to the next level. Very difficult conversation that I had to have with him when I moved on to buy my own shop. Pretty tough. A guy buys you your first set of teeth that you're moving on to new employment. It was a little bit of a tough conversation to have. And, like most crack crystal heads, when I got sober, I needed to gain 30 pounds. Well, looks like I gained a little more than 30 pounds in this photo, doesn't it? I gained 100 pounds. So in this photo, I was 70 pounds overweight because I had switched addictions. I look back on it now, and I didn't know that I had switched addictions, but I went from drugs and alcohol to food and cigarettes. When this photo was taken, I had just quit smoking a 4-pack a day habit 30 days prior. That was going fairly well. And I thought, well, maybe I can do something about this weight. So I went to Jenny Craig. That's not the answer for everybody. It happens to be part of my story. And I lost 70 pounds in a 6-month period. So this is halfway at 3 months. And this is me being humble at 6 months after I lost the weight. And this is a year later at that same place, just checking in. So, we talk about implementation rediscovered. I've learned some things about implementation because not only did I stop there with the weight loss, I also decided, hey, you know what, why not be the best that I can be in the area of my health as well? So I run half marathons. I attend the gym regularly. I have seen some of that 70 pounds come back, like all of us that have lost some weight, if I were honest with you. But it's not 60 and then I start losing again. It's more like 5 or 7, and then I get back on track. But I've run a number of half marathons. I just ran a half marathon 3 weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, with some fellow shop owners that set it as a goal up in Ventura, California. We had a great time. It was a blast. So I've run a number of them now, as I said. Because of Richard's belief in me and taking his shop to the next level, this is the first home that we purchased. You read about it in my book. Claudia and I purchased this home with $1,200 out of pocket after reading and listening to the No Money Down courses of Carlton Sheets over and over and over again. Obviously, I didn't pay attention because I had $1,200 out of my pocket. It was not a no money down deal, but hey, what can I say? So 2004, I moved on from Richard's shop in Arizona. Again, a series of events that only God could have orchestrated. We got our first auto repair shop, no money down. That doesn't necessarily mean that the owner doesn't get any money. He just doesn't get any money from you when it's a no money down deal. He did get some money from a loan from my father, and he did carry back some paper. He carried back $100,000. He gave me 1 year to pay it off at 8% interest, simple interest, and he actually gave me a year and a half. And at 1 year, we were able to pay him back that $100,000. We didn't have to pay it the whole year and a half. So we thought that it would be pretty good for us if we went ahead and started getting some education on being good stewards of Christ's money. That's how we look at it. So we went to a school called Wealth Intelligence Academy back in 2007. We started another business that is called Claudia Buys Houses. It's our buy, fix, sell on single-family homes. And we were able to take that business to the next level. 2 years later, this is where we still are today. 2 years later, we were inducted into that school's Hall of Fame. For those of you that follow Robert Kiyosaki, that's him on the left, his wife Kim on the right, my wife and I, Claudia, in the center. Our daughter, who's just finishing her second year of college now, is there in the front. This is a little 10 years ago now. So Mark on the far right is my coach, and you're gonna see a continuing thread of a theme go through a lot of this stuff, and that is a good coach, a good mentor. Richard was my coach and mentor. Mark was my coach in real estate. So we took what we had learned there. This is the actual award here. We took what we learned there, and we thought, you know what? We got some other coaching, industry-specific stuff having to do with auto repair. We felt like we could take on another auto repair shop, and again, by a series of circumstances, only God could have arranged another no money down deal for this auto repair shop. 2000, that was 2010. 2014, came across a vacant building that I wanted nothing to do with, but my real estate broker who works on commission said I needed to check this out, and I did, and it turned out it wasn't what I thought it was, and I'm glad I listened to him coach me through the process of this. We turned that into this, and this is from Google Maps, and if you look closely, if you pay attention, you will see the Google guy come by from time to time, because that's me standing in the parking lot waving at the Google car, taking its photos. So that was kind of a unique experience. If you go on Google and look up that address, I'm still there. This is Claudia and I in the waiting room of that auto repair shop during the renovation, but just prior. And we went through that completely and turned that waiting room into what it is today. Outside wasn't much different. This shop, believe it or not, used laser beams for security. It had no bay doors. We put in bay doors. That's what we turned that into. The back was wasted space. We put in some concrete and some lifts and an overhang. We created three new work areas for cars to be worked on to try and turn this postage stamp into a more efficient workspace for our guys. And back in 2017, we thought it was time to brand all of our stores to be the same. A little bit of a painful experience in getting everything changed out, and same paint colors and same banner colors, and you know, we now have branded everything to be exactly the same throughout all of our stores. Then, we decided to start trading some things out of the San Diego area into other markets. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, but this is a 96 unit apartment complex that we're part of in Illinois. 70 units we're part of in St. Louis, and 32 units we're part of in St. Louis. And in 2018, because of another coach and mentor situation, we were inducted into our multifamily schools Hall of Fame called RE Mentor. This is Dave Lindahl in the apartment investment world across the country. Dave is one of the most well-known multifamily investors and teachers and educators. And so that's pretty fun to have on the resume that we're inducted into his Hall of Fame. Not many, I think at this particular induction ceremony, there was maybe 6 of us, and he has hundreds and hundreds of students. So that was pretty humbling. 2016, I had the honor of co-authoring a book with Brian Tracy and some others. And in 2017, that book was, I was awarded in the National Academy of Best-Selling Authors, what they call a Quilly Award for that book. Again, a humbling honor. And yes, throughout all the work, we do have fun with it as well. This is our Christmas party, and this is me in the front row right there, dressed up as an elf for the Christmas party with some of our crew. Pretty cool stuff. Really enjoy having fun. And, I spend more time with some of these folks during this year than I do with my wife, like we all do. So I enjoy having fun and enjoying life, not just working. So it isn't all work. It's some of it's investing and taking action and implementation with just enjoying the moment, isn't it? So a lot of you know that's why you're here. My book came out in September of 2018, Addicted to Life.